Hello and welcome back to the episode of Bantz with Lawrencia. How are you all doing? If you're doing great. For today's episode, I want to talk about Peggy Ovire. Is it Ovire or Ovire? Now, Peggy got into a fight with one of her staff, an actor, Taye. According to the story, Peggy contacted him or Taye to act in one of her movies. She's a YouTuber. She produces Nollywood movies. She has a very massive YouTube channel where she posts all those movies. Now, according to Taye, Peggy contacted her and, they were supposed to shoot about 2 movies or 2 scenes or something like that. The first one went successfully. The second one, she was supposed to work a 12-hour shift. And he said he had a commitment for the next day. And he was asking them, I want to see the schedule. I want to see what scenes I'm on and all that. According to him, Peggy refused. Now, when he wanted to leave because they wasted his whole time, it was 11 in the night. He wanted to go home, have a, shower and a rest because of his commitment the next day. They said he was not leaving, that he must shoot the scenes before leaving. They started dragging. And this was about 12 in the night. He went live. He was talking. He said a whole lot of things. And then he eventually left. Peggy was not happy. Peggy came out and made her own, gave her own side of the story. She said that, she had invited him. She just said a whole lot of emotional blackmail thing. When I read her statement, I was just like, this has nothing to do with, what he's alleging. Because according to her, she has helped him a lot. When he was sick, she took care of him. She fed him. She gave him her pajamas. I actually laughed at that one. She gave him her pajamas. Now, why would he come out and do this to her? After that, because Taye had posted that they busted his lips, he showed videos. He now sued, I think for 100 million or something like that. Peggy also countersued. Now, the AGN president, or the AGN itself, the Actors Guild of Nigeria, decided to suspend Taye. Now, after his suspension, he decided to come out and give his own side of the story. He said he's going to be in 3 parts, but he has released the first part. I mean, I don't know if you guys have the time to watch everything that he has to say, because it's a long video. I think he had like 10 different questions that he wants everybody to ask Peggy, ask AGN president and all that. I think I'll play the video, but I think having boundaries sometimes with people that don't understand boundaries is going to create problems. Because if you contacted somebody to shoot a movie for a 12-hour scene and they want to know what time the scenes are going to be so that they can plan for they have lives. Some actors shoot 10 different movies per day. Some, so they are jumping from one location to the other. So you have to respect their time because you're paying them. Are you going to pay them extra? If, let's say you're going to pay them extra, what about the commitment that they have? So I think the problem here is that Taye had boundaries and he was not willing to shake. This was how we lost Junior Pope, because he was trying to compromise. They were going for a movie location where there was no life jacket, or maybe they provided, but he didn't like the life jacket and all that. And then he lost his life. So let's say if he had stayed, done the job, and then left maybe 2 a.m. in the night and something happened to him, what would they have said? They would still have said, oh, his location hazard, he comes with a job, kidnappers are everywhere. If you're respect people's time. Anyway, I'm just going to play that video of Taye giving his own side of the story, talking about how everything happened. Let me know what you think. Watch this.
My name is Taye Arimoro, and I'm sure that by now you all have seen the statement that was released by the AGN, the AMP, and the DGN. So before I go on, I just need you guys to know that this is going to be a 3 parts video. So please just bear with me because I'm going to address three major things. First, I'm going to address the actual incidents that happened on the 12th, between the 12th all the way to, between the 11th of November all the way to the 12th. And secondly, I'm going to address the AGN, the AMP, and the DGN. Finally, I'm going to address my colleagues, the cast, the crew, industry stakeholders, and lovers of our dear industry. Now, for the first part, the actual events that occurred between the 11th and the 12th. Before I go on, I need to clear the air on a particular issue. My name is Taye Arimoro. That's Taye Arimoro, not Taye Ayimoro. And I think that is very strange that a disciplinary document would misspell the name of one party. It begs to question. Begs to question the seriousness, begs to question the impartiality. It begs to question the accuracy and the integrity of whatever process they went through. Now, let's address the issue. I want to state clearly, factually, and categorically that your claims in that statement is completely and utterly, extremely inaccurate. All the things you said I did not do them. And if you watched my Instagram live videos and you saw the CCTV footage, you will be able to find that out, even without me speaking. But now you have released your statement. So let's address it one by one. First of all, you mentioned that I was the primary aggressor. I really want to understand how you came to that conclusion. Because everyone who's seen the live videos and the CCTV footage, you literally can see that at no point did I initiate any confrontation towards anybody. No point. But you went ahead and you released a statement on the matter. The videos speak for themselves. I want to go through the events one after the other. Now, sometime in August, one Peggy Ovire, who I did not know before she contacted me, to be honest, sent me a message saying, "My name is Peggy and I would like to employ you for 2 jobs. The first was going to be shot between the 27th of October to the 31st of October. We filmed that. The second was to be filmed between the 7th of November till the 11th of November. Now, this is where issues start to arise. We filmed the first day, which was the 7th. We filmed the second day, which was the 8th. We filmed the third day, which was the 9th. The fourth day, we filmed into the night, which was, I think we wrapped at about almost to 1 in the morning. I drove myself to my hotel. I drove myself to my friend's house, which was very close to the apartment. And in the morning of the 11th, I woke up in the morning, I took a bath, and then I sent a message to the PM, "Look, Ovire." My first message to him was, "How far? What is the call time? What is the filming schedule for the day?" To which he responded, 9 a.m. is the call time. The schedule I don't have yet because my computer is not functioning properly. And I said, okay. Now, at 9:35, we got on a call, myself and Luke Ovire, and I asked him, "Is Peggy on set yet or not?" So I said to him, "When Peggy gets there, call me. I'm 5 minutes away from the location. Actually, 4 minutes. but let's approximate it. Now, at 10:20, Luke calls me again. Luke Ovire calls me again, and he says, Peggy's around, you can start coming. At the same time, while I was on that call, Peggy calls me, and I'm guessing it's to tell me that she was around. Immediately, I start to pack up my things, and I'm heading to set. At 10:35, Luke calls me again, and I say to him, I'm just at the estate gate. I'm driving to the house. Now, the estate is Lakeview Park 2 Estate, and the street is Road 7B. Between the estate gate and Road 7B is about 3 minutes maximum. By 10:38, 10:39, I was already on set. First thing I did was to get into costume, come straight down, and I wanted to sit down for a promotional content for this film. Something that I created and shared with them. They loved the idea, of course, but I did not find the time to record with them. So I was fresh, it was a new day. Let me use that enthusiasm and energy to do this content so that while they're setting up outside, once they're done setting up, I leave there and go straight there. While I sit down, before I'm able to utter my first words, Peggy yells my name and says to come out to film. I get up from there, go outside to go film. We must have waited another 20-25 minutes while they were setting up. We filmed, we got about our day professionally. Everybody, was doing what they wanted to do. I was focused on making sure that, I filmed. And throughout the day, I must have asked about 5 to 6 times. I asked the continuity officer, Ifeoma, and I asked the PM, Luke Ovire, for the schedule for the day, the filming schedule for the day. For some reason, they refused to give it to me. Now, at 7 p.m., I was inside. We had filmed a number of scenes, and I was inside the changing room, my waiting room, when I'm hearing loud music coming all the way from downstairs. I'm wondering, what is this loud music and where is it coming from? I'm hearing people singing and shouting and talking and gisting, whatever it is. And so I opened my door, peeped out. Now, my waiting room was on the first floor. There was the second floor, which was set, and then the ground floor, which was the living room area. That was where the DJ was set up. By the time I opened the room, I just looked downstairs and I saw a DJ. I saw some party packs or whatever, by the side of the DJ. And so I called Ifeoma first. And I said, Ifeoma, what is the delay for? Everyone is singing, dancing, chilling, taking their sweet time to set up scenes. It's getting late. I need to be somewhere at 10 a.m. tomorrow. My agreement with the producer ends tonight, 11:59. But I'm leaving at 10:30, 11, because left to me, I would have completed my 12 hours of shooting for the day. She said, okay, she'll let her team know and they will move faster. I then called the PM, Luke Ovire, and I said to him, bro, can you tell your people to move faster? Because one, I don't know how many scenes we have left because you people have refused to give me the schedule for the day. And two, I'm leaving at 11, latest. I need to be out of here because I need to go back to my house on the mainland, unpack my box that I had packed for 5 days for this project, put in fresh clothes for the next 4 days. He said to me he would do all he can to be fast. I said, tell your team members all the delays and whatnot, it would be nice to reduce it and not have any delays. He said, yes, no problem. At 10, I realized that we could not, They said we had 3 more scenes to shoot on the topmost floor, which was like my character's bedroom. And I said to him, I called him again and I said, you know what? I'm moving my call time to 12 and not a minute more. Not 1 minute past 12. Because I'm sleepy, I'm tired. I need to go home, unpack, pack a fresh box, and come back to the island. When am I going to sleep? How am I going to be useful for the work that I had to do at 10 a.m. the next day? And he assured me that they will do everything in their power to be fast. I said, okay. We went upstairs, started filming. This was about 10 something. We filmed all 3 scenes or 4 scenes upstairs, in the room upstairs, and everybody came back downstairs. I must have been the last person to leave that room. Before I know it, I'm about to come to the first floor where my waiting room is, and I'm hearing from downstairs, "You guys should go and prepare for the last 3 scenes, oh." And I'm looking, at this time it's 11:56. I'm thinking, nobody has come to say anything to me. So maybe I'm not in those 3 scenes. Anyway, I come downstairs. I made a Snapchat video, which is like something I do randomly. I made a Snapchat video and I posted it on my Snapchat, almost like, like sex life and what's not, that type of thing. Then I sent that same video to my management and I let them know that I was rounding up for the day and, I would be home soon because they always want progress reports. At 12 o'clock, I entered into the room, the waiting room. I packed up my stuff and I come downstairs to the ground floor. I walk through the front door and I'm going to my car. By the time I get to my car, I open the back door, drop my stuff, my bags, drop it there, my lunchbox and, my computer, the bag that has my computer and my tabs and my headphones and just gadgets generally. Put it in my back seat. And as I'm about to shut the door, the front door, Luke runs out and he's trying to get my attention. So I left the door ajar to have a conversation with him. I knew why he was coming. He was coming to plead. So when he got there, I said to him, "Look, I'm so sorry, but I told you what time I had to go. Like now it's even out of my hands because the last 2 scenes we filmed, I did them very sleepily. I'm tired. I'm going all the way to the mainland. I cannot sleep and drive. If anything, from Ochi to my house it's almost 2 hours. So I said, unfortunately, it cannot work. We have to look for another day or look for another time. But as it stands now, I'm going home and there's nothing that will stop me." Before I know it, I'm about to shut my door after I say that to him. Then he pulls the door. I first think it was a joke. To be honest, all of this started off almost like it started off with a good understanding. You came to plead for more time. I said, no, okay, I'm ready to go. Then he holds my door and says, "I need to go inside to go and speak to his producer." And I said, "I'm sorry. Look, I'm not going to speak to your producer because you had 3 more scenes and nobody walked up to me to say, 'Oh, Taye, we have 3 more scenes. We know that you have to leave at 12, but can you give us so and so time?' What happened instead was that you guys completely disregarded me and did not have any courtesy to respect the fact that I needed to do something else in the morning and I'm a human being that needs to rest. So I'm not going to see your producer because your producer does not think I'm important enough to let me know that I'll be shooting past our agreed date." Next thing, once I say that I'm inside my car, I'm not even listening to anything anymore. I'm just like, okay, I want to drive. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I drive forward a bit, he's going to let go of my door because he has refused to let go of my door. I move forward a bit, and the next thing this guy will do is he jumps. Remember, my door is left ajar. He jumps in between that space, puts his leg in my car, hangs onto the shoulder of the door, and holds it from inside, almost like a downfall bus conductor holding on to the downfall. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Maybe if I speed some more, that's the first thought that came to me. Maybe if I speed some more, he would jump off. But I'm thinking, if I speed some more and he jumps off and he falls, or in the process of whatever it is that's happening, I run over this guy or he just injures, what now happens? His safety is at risk here. But most importantly for me, it's what will people say? What explanation am I going to give anyone that, oh, somebody jumped in your car and you decided to run him over? I built my career. I built it for 12 years. 1 p.m. who I had never met before now is about to ruin it. And so I parked the car and I pushed him off my car so he can step back and I can look into his face and tell him, what you're doing does not make any sense, which is what I did. Now, when I did that, I said, leave my door, please. I entered the car back, I'm about to jam it again. This guy pulls the door from the outside by the handle. I pull it again, he pulls it again, and I'm like, guys, stop this nonsense. Leave my car alone. Leave my car alone. At this time, it's getting very infuriating because it's almost like, what are you doing? Now, we do it the third time or fourth time, and he pulls it, jacks it from the outside. Next thing, the entire padding by the door, that board, pulls out completely. I just looked at him. In all honesty, I was very upset. But one thing in my mind was, I'm going home. We would attend to this damage in the morning. We would attend to it in the morning. Whoever I have to report to, so that they can fix my door. It's a small price to pay. I'm about to jam the door when I see Peggy's car driven by her driver, Joshua Madu. He blocks the only entrance and exit into that street, Road 7B, Lakeview Park 2 Estate. I'm just like, okay, what exactly is going on? Why are you blocking me? He says, my madam say you no fit go. Your madam said I can't go. On what basis? Like, why? Please, drive this car out of the way. That's when it clocked that Peggy sent her PM to hold on to my car so that the driver will have enough time to maneuver the car to block the street so that I would not go. She wanted to prove a point. Then, of course, I first start by telling the driver, please just move the car. What you're doing is wrong. What your madam told you to do is not right. It's wrong. Please move your car. It's not moving it. So I decided, okay, you know what? I started to raise my voice. Move your car. Why would you block me? It makes no sense. This one is holding on to my door. He's destroyed it. This one is blocking me. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, I decided to now go live. That, wait, what is going on? Okay, actually. Now, 2 people come out. 2 of the DPs. One GB and one Sarichi. That's what we call them anyway. Or that's what we call them on set anyway. And as they're coming towards me, first thing that comes to my mind is fear. What are these people about to do? What are these two now being sent to do? What exactly are they being sent to do? Immediately I go live. The demeanor becomes a case of, Taye, no be so now. There's no point of going live, no be so. I said, no, tell this guy to move his car out of the way. You can't be trying to tell me to calm down when there's somebody blocking me and the other person has destroyed my door. You cannot be telling me to calm down, come and shoot 2 scenes. You're begging me to come and shoot 2 scenes. Now, if you watch the beginning of my live video, I say, I have to go home. I'm not coming to do it. I have to go home. Did I tell you that I was going to leave at 12? And he says, this PM that supposedly I knocked unconscious said to me, I told you I would be fast. What's my business with that? You told me you're going to be fast hours ago. At 12 a.m. or past 12 at this time, you were not fast enough. And I need to go home. I need to sleep. I'm not a machine. And worse still, in this particular matter, you're holding me against my will. After I've said it calmly, I've yelled, and now I'm on live. So for those of you who want to know what happened before the live, this is what happened. I'm not a madman. I'm not a crazy person. Everyone who's worked with me knows my temperament. Everyone knows my professionalism. I'm not going to go around hitting people, especially especially people that are trying to beg me to stay. I've been in this industry for 12 years. I know what they do. I know how it goes. And I've worked with so many producers past midnight. Sometimes I don't sleep for 20-something hours. And I keep going. But this time, I've said I don't want to do it. I want to go home to sleep. Anyway, I walk towards the driver. I tell him to move the car. He comes out of the car. He's refusing to move the car. So I walk towards him and I grabbed the key out of his hand. There was some squabble that happened in between there, right? Between him, GB, myself, and Sarichi, whatever. We're just surrounded in that circle. Then I came out. He ran out to go and look for a stone or something. I'm guessing he wanted to strike me or whatever. I walk towards the black Toyota Highlander, Peggy's car, and I'm driving it. As I'm driving it, Peggy comes out and immediately she runs. She literally runs towards me and puts her head through the window. You know how last summer officials or Agberos try to collect the key from a downfall driver? So she's struggling the steering, trying to grab the key. She's screaming, "Taye, what are you doing in my car? You want to trend, Abi? You like drama, Abi? Don't worry, I'll show you. I'll show you." I'm like, oh God, this is the so-called producer that Joshua Madu had confirmed that he blocked the road on her behest. In my head, I did not want to believe it. And if you listen to my live video, I did not mention Peggy's name until she got involved, until she got physical. But all I'm saying is this car needs to leave my front. You have no right, absolutely no right to block me in. It makes no sense. Am I a child? Am I a criminal? Am I an animal? It makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, I drove the car out. She says, "Taye, get out of my car." I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm done moving the car out of the way. You can take your key. Go to my live video, you will see it there. And these things, by the way, I have them in bits, chunks and bits. We'll post it when the time is right. Anyway, I go back into my car. I enter the car and I'm out of here. Immediately I enter my car, Peggy enters her Highlander and reverses to block me in again. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be here. These people are not going to mob me here. It will not make any sense that you're trying to force me to go and film. So I'm like, let me run to the security post and let them know what's really going on. Because there's no way on earth you will do this and expect me to come back to film. So I unfortunately for me, I passed through the right-hand side, which is towards the back of the estate. And because I parked a car towards the left-hand side, now the left-hand side is a shorter distance to the gate, while the right-hand side is through the back of the estate to the estate gate. By the time I got to the estate gate, I saw all of them parked. About 10 to 15 of them, some put behind, some Peggy was parked in front of the gate, blocking the gate. Now, this is where point of aggression 2 begins. Now, I'm like, oh God, if you guys listen to my live video, you will hear me say, these people are crazy people. Like, how can you hold me against my will? This. In all of this, I'm trying to keep my composure, right? We now get to the gate and obviously people are banging my door, banging my window. And I'm like, for what? And wait, what exactly is going on? What exactly is going on? What is going on? Why? Jabbing on my door, trying to open it and whatnot, especially Joshua Madu, Peggy's driver. Now, I stayed in the car for a few minutes and I was just observing. I was speaking on the phone with another producer, the person who recommended me for this project, and she was trying to beg me to go back to shoot the 2 scenes, and I said no. All they kept saying was, come back to shoot the 2 scenes. Come back to shoot the 2 scenes. Come back to shoot the 2 scenes. I said I'm not. Even if it's just 1 frame. They said, come and do framing. I'm not doing it. Because the time for conversation is done. If you wanted to talk to me, you could have just spoken to me. Don't hold me against my will. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stand. I'm not going to stand for that. It's not Taye Arimoro that I'm going to use to do that. Anyway, all that happened, I'm sure most of us have seen what happened in the CCTV footage. But there's something significant I need to mention. In the process of all of this, the estate CSO comes to my window with an MOPO officer, mobile police. And they knock on my door gently. I said, hello, good evening, or good morning, or whatever. I was very calm. and respectful towards them. And they said I was blocking the gate. And I said, bro, I'm not blocking the gate. Look at the people blocking the gate in front of me. They said, what happened? And I said, they want me to go shoot 2 scenes. I'm done with my contractual obligations. Please, I'm also going to make reference to that live video. For those who have not seen it, take your time and watch it. I know it's long, but take your time and watch it to understand the series of events. I explained to them that, I was not going to go back. I just wanted to go home. Then they go to tell Peggy to move her car and what's not. I don't know what she says to them. But at the time the estate CSO and the Mopo guy were coming back, they came with some venom. They're hitting on my glass, jagging at the door, telling me to go back to the house and what's not. Yes, go back to the and well, which was very consistent throughout that entire life. I did not show anybody's face or call anybody's name until they were threats to me. All through, the video was really on my face. Now, then I turned the camera towards them to show the people who are harassing me and are threatening me right now. Immediately they realized that I was on live and their faces were plastered all over my live. They decided they were going to calm down. The Mopo guy went to wear a mask. It was too late anyway, because his face is right there. And then the CSO sort of walked away and just stood by the side. Now, while that was happening, I'm hearing air being released from around my car. Then it dawned on me that actually these people were deflating my tire. So I came out and I came to warn them to stop this nonsense. They didn't listen. The driver obviously came to me. At first, I tried to move forward and backwards just to prevent them from doing it, but I realized that it was a futile effort. So let them, whatever they want to do, let them do it. But I'm not going back to that house to film anything. I'm going home. Why is it a problem that I want to go home to sleep? Anyway, I think the estate CSO, he stood there while they were doing this to me, and I kept telling him, bro, please let me just go outside. You see what they're doing to me? They're letting them do this to me. I came to the gates because I wanted some level of protection. Finally, they deflated all my tires. I came outside. Obviously, we all saw how Peggy was violently pushing me. They call it a feminine push. I wonder how it would have looked if I was the one dishing out feminine pushes on Peggy. We all know how that would have turned out. We all know. But I kept my composure. Because I was raised to respect women. Anyway, I decided, okay, you know what? The CSO says he wants to speak to me. I should turn off my live. I said I'm not turning off my live because I don't trust anyone here. No one. Not the security agents, not the people that I just finished working with. Nobody. Because everybody was moving mad, literally. Anyway, I begged him eventually after that call. I dropped my phone inside the car. I had my headphones on intentionally because I wanted to pick everything that was being said to me in that same live video. And we all know there's no way to falsify live videos. There's no way to edit live videos. So like all this chit chat about this thing just doesn't make any sense. Eventually, after he said everything he wanted to say, I begged him, please can I park my car? Unfortunately, on my live video, somebody had told me to order a ride, and I ordered a Bolt ride. The guy came, he canceled because of the time frame it took, but he still waited. Now, eventually, I dropped my bags inside the car because I didn't want the strong way they would drag my bag from me and say, if I didn't film, I could not go home with my gadgets. So I dropped in the car, locked it, and then I walked through the pedestrian gate, and immediately as I was about to approach my Uber guy or the Bolt guy, I get a very heavy blow right here at the back of my right ear, behind my head, right here. It was very inflamed, actually, eventually. First thing I'm thinking is maybe there's blood, so I searched for it. If you check my live, you'll see my reaction. My phone fell to the front of the Uber, and my headphones had shifted. I don't even remember how it eventually fell to the floor. But I turned around and I see who it was. Guys, guess who? Joshua Madu again. The same person who blocked me from leaving on Peggy's behest, deflated my tires, was squaring up to me all the time. If you watch that live videos, you guys will see it. Was squaring up to me all the time. But because I had my face looking at him, he could not do anything. Such a coward. But when I went outside and I had my headphones on and I was backing him, he came to attack me. That was when things got really, really crazy. Really crazy. I charge towards him. I get some punches from different angles. I get bites on my chest, bites on my thigh, you know. And when the director fell, I don't even know how he fell. Because to be honest, it wasn't close to me. Immediately, I pulled back and I said, Director, sorry this happened to you. Just sorry. Because that's the person I am. That's who I am. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Things shouldn't have gotten this crazy. Anyway, I look towards my bolt guy and I see Peggy with my phone trying to end my live video. She eventually successfully ended the live video. Then she's trying to delete the video because, on Instagram Live, you cannot save a live video. You can either discard or share it. So by the time I got to her, I snatched my phone back quickly, like that. Immediately, she starts to slap me and punch me, and I didn't care. All I cared about was I was hoping that she didn't delete that video. Luckily for me, she had ended it, but she didn't delete it. Immediately, I tapped on share. Because that's evidence you're trying to delete. Why are you trying to delete evidence? Why? Why are you doing that? After all, the person that was supposed to be unconscious, you had given him your phone to record the situation at the gate and outside the gate. You gave him your phone. It was supposed to be unconscious, so it was unconsciously recording. Anyway, my friend had sent her manager to come pick me up in her car. And just as I immediately entered, I tried to get my bags back. They didn't allow me. I entered the Uber and we were about to drive out when I saw my friend's car. I recognized it and I went towards the car and I realized that it was a manager that had been sent to pick me up. I got in the car and immediately I left that space. I told the boat guy I was sorry, he had wasted a lot of time. So I paid him the exact amount that I was supposed to pay him for the trip. And I left. Now, let's talk about, so there were 3 points of aggression, right? And if there's any lies in everything that I've said, I would like for Lakeview Park 2 Estate, Orchard Road, to provide CCTV footages of everything that transpired at that gate, both on the inside of the estate and on the outside of the estate by the gate. Questions. I need you guys to ask the right questions, right? Peggy Ovire claims that I came to set at 12 p.m. Please let her provide evidence that I arrived at 12 p.m. 2, at what specific time does a day end? 3, was there any point where Peggy or her people informed me that we would be filming past midnight? With evidence. 4, why did Peggy Ovire ask her driver, Joshua Madu, to block me when she was still inside the house and had no idea what was happening on the outside of the house? Seems pre-planned. 5, when Peggy Ovire came outside, did she deliberately dial the situation down and find out what had transpired before I grabbed the car key? 6, what was Peggy Ovire's motivation for following me to the gate? If I truly attacked Lukobai, the PM, and he was knocked unconscious, how was the situation not in chaos as at the time I went live? And how was he still able to speak to me, responding with, I told you I would be fast, when I said, I told you I was going to leave at 12 a.m. And did you guys hear the entitlement in his voice? How was he able to follow us to the gate to make recordings at Peggy's behest if he was not unconscious? 7, why didn't Peggy call the police after she claimed I beat up 2 crew members? Why didn't she tell the security agents that I beat up 2 crew members and so that's why they were holding me down? 8, why didn't Peggy tell me she was holding me against my will because according to her claim, I had attacked 2 people? Instead, the conversation at the gate And at the first point of aggression was come and shoot the two scenes. Her people did. The security CSO did. Why was that the conversation? If I attacked two of our people and they were unconscious. 9. Why did she change her story after the CCTV footage was released? 10. Why did Luke Obayi's account on his Instagram page contradict that of Peggy's? These are simple questions to ask. I really want to know the answers. I think we all deserve to know the answers. Look, guys, we all know what's at play here. Any right-thinking human being can see through it. Lies, lies, lies. My advice? Provide the evidence. Okay? Let's see the evidence. Well, please, my people, ask the right questions and we'll get the right answers. That's it for my first section of my 3-part video. Thank you and see you in the next one. Hello again. Taye Arimoro here. Not Taye with an I, and not Arimoro. To the DGN, to the AGN, and to the AMP, you were wrong. I want to read your key findings. You say, Mr. Arimoro was the primary aggressor, assaulting the production manager and the driver. Flaw 1. The production manager is not named. The driver is not named. My name is not spelled correctly. He circulated a false live video misrepresenting the sequence of events and damaging the reputation of producer Miss Peggy Ovire, who was not present during the initial altercation. Flaw number 3. It's not possible to circulate a fake live video. In fact, it's not possible to edit an IG live video because you cannot save an IG live video. After broadcast, you can either discard it or you can share it. CCTV footages. How could I have edited or falsified a CCTV footage? Thankfully, Lakeview Park 2 Estate is right there. We can ask them for the complete CCTV footage of that day. From the time I arrived at their gate till the time I was at their gates to leave. Till after the third point of aggression towards me. It says the director, production manager, and crew were not culpable in any wrongdoings. Then it goes to say that, I'm going to summarize because I want to keep this video as short as possible. It goes to say that Peggy Ovire acted emotionally and was reactive towards the assault on her people. Before I get there, I want to state that you made a statement from one side of the story. You didn't have my own account. You didn't get my evidence. You did not reveal the evidence I had on my Instagram live. You did not review the CCTV footages. You did not ask the estates to provide the CCTV footages. It's very baffling, with all due respect, that 3 guilds with 3 different precedents would make a statement, would make a stance on a matter that does not represent the entire picture. So, how is it that the AGN reaches out to me through my manager, and at the time she made it clear that I was not mentally or physically in the headspace to make a statement to them? They kept insisting that I made a voice recording or whatnot. And my manager said, this guy is in the hospital. He has his jaw fractured. He was dealing with police matter. On top of all of this, I didn't have my car to move around. I still don't have my car. It's been almost 3 weeks now. And I still don't have my car to move around. I refunded money for 2 different projects. Let that sink in. And the response from the AGN representative, I would not mention his name just yet, was threats. What he said, I will not say it yet, but I have all my evidence. And mind you, everything I've said from my first video, actually from my live to my first video, the first part of this 3-part video, to what I'm saying now, is proof for everything. Now, I would also want the entire world and maybe the leadership of the AGN, the DGN, and the AMP, who probably do not know how this investigation came about or what's the details of the investigation were before the statement was released. You cannot tell me that you are looking to help me when, one, no one from the DGN, from the AGN or the AMP, from when the event happened up until now, calls to check up on my welfare or my well-being. My second live video has me with blood all over my mouth. If you say that you are out to helping me, the first thing I would expect you to do is, how is Taye doing? How's his mouth? How's everything going? Before we start talking about what happened. How am I supposed to trust you when you reach out to me with threats? If you were in my shoes, would you trust you? So this went on for a bit, and when I started to feel better and I could speak better and I could eat soft solids, I'm still eating soft solids anyway. The DGN reached out. And because their tone seemed a bit more reasonable, they still didn't ask, they didn't care about my welfare, but it's okay. But they seemed a little bit more reasonable. I decided I was going to honor their invitation to talk, because they called it a fact-finding mission, fact-finding committee, not a disciplinary committee. It was against my counsel, both my legal and my management. But I just thought, out of respect, I needed to let them hear my voice at least. And so we got on that call, and in that call, it was a Google Meet. In that call, I stated categorically that anything that concerned the criminal case, the details of this criminal case, were with the police and the courts. And so I would not be divulging into those information. Simply because, one, again, I do not trust the guilt. I'm not sure what they're going to use that information to do. I'm not sure whose side they're on. I'm not sure whose interest they're trying to protect. However, I gave them every single detail that concerned professionalism, professional conduct, my call times, the contractual dates, my resumption times from the first project, which was filmed between the 27th and the 30th or 31st, 27th and 31st of October, and the second project, which was filmed between the 7th and the 11th of November. Those were the agreed dates. I told them the time I got on set. I told them the time that was agreed. I told them the time I told the PM and the continuity, the PM Lukobai and the continuity officer Ifoma, the time I told them I was going to leave and the time I eventually stepped out of that house. I have a few questions. Did Peggy Ovire tell you that I saw her on my way out? She was sitting in the living room. I saw her. She saw me. She saw me see her. And I saw her see me. Lukobai had no idea that I was stepping out of that house because he had his back to me. But at the time I got to my car, Lukobai was running after me. To me, that seemed like Peggy Ovire plotted. So Lukobai is running after me and our driver is readjusting the car until he eventually parked to block the street. This was before any craziness happened. 2, did she tell you that she instructed her driver, Joshua Madu, to block me in? 3, did she tell you that Joshua Madu, her driver, threatened to stab me with a knife until I died? What if he had a knife and he actually stabbed me to death? What would be the conversation today? And I need us to, and I would kindly like to request that some proper thinking be done. If she says, if all she claims was true, she's a member of the AGN, the AMP, and I think the DGN. I'm not a member of any of the guilds, but Peggy is. If by any chance all she claimed was true, why not gain some self-restraint and self-control? What does acting emotionally mean? She said I beat up her PM until he was unconscious. How then did she give that same PM Lukobai her phone or whatever phone to record the incident? If you say you have eyewitnesses and whatnot, where's the video recording? Because at the beginning, before I went live, there was just me, Lukobai at first, then Joshua Madu, her driver, before GB, I think his name is, I don't know if it's Bolan or I don't remember, but GB and Sir Richie came out. At this point, I was already raising my voice. Then I went live. There are questions to ask, sincere, serious questions. And for you to release a statement that has such weighty implications without making deep findings down to what my actual name is cause for concern. Cases like this have happened in the past. The DGN admitted as much on that call. But nothing seems to change. I've had so many actors call me to tell me, oh, this same thing happened to me. We didn't get this crazy because I finally succumbed to their pressure, I succumbed to their humiliation, I succumbed to their harassment, I succumbed to their intimidation. Unfortunately, I come from a lineage of very, very stubborn people. And we will not take intimidation sitting down. I'm an Arimoro. For those who don't know, go to Elisha to find out what that name means. I will never bow to intimidation. Did Peggy tell you that my contractual dates had passed? These are the questions I would like for us to answer. I have decided that this case would be followed through by the law. I made a video on the 21st of November saying that I was done with the negativity and I intentionally didn't want to post anything on this matter until this came up. Like I said, I don't want to say much, but we cannot build trust on biased findings, on one-sided stories, or on intimidation. It never works. This is about the integrity of our industry, the integrity of our guilds, the protection from our guilds. I would say fairness, transparency, and accountability need to be upheld, especially in this particular case. Finally, I think the guilds owe it to the industry, the cast, the crew, the stakeholders, and the general public to uphold fairness, transparency, and accountability. Is to protect all of us. Is to protect the current actors and cast and crew. Is to protect the upcoming cast and crew so that our industry can grow and so that it can move forward, so that we can all be involved and carried along with respect. I said it before, no one can dim my light. That was a clear declaration to everyone who listened to my voice, everyone who listens to my voice. Again, to the AGN, to the EMP, to the DGN, you were wrong. Thank you. See you in my third video. Hello everyone, Taye Arimoro here again. Not Taye with an I, and not Arimoro. Taye Arimoro. To everyone in the industry, to everyone connected to the industry, to the actors, to the crew, to the directors, to the producers, to the fans, to the general public, every one of you who give life to our industry, I want to say a big thank you. Thank you for lending your voices. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for asking questions. It means the world to me. The events of the past couple of weeks have opened my eyes to some very deep problems in our industry system. Here's what I mean. An actor was assaulted, and instead of the industry to come together firmly to demand fairness, transparency, and accountability, I was met in some quarters with threats, intimidation, and a rushed ban. A ban that has no legal basis. A ban that was reached without considering my side of the story, without considering the evidence, and without considering the facts of the matter. That should concern everyone who cares about the integrity of our industry. Everyone thinks that, oh, you know what? It won't happen to me. Look, if this can happen to me, and I have evidence, it can happen to any crew member, any cast member, just anyone going about doing their jobs within the industry system. So why don't we start asking the right questions? Who protects us? Who speaks for us? Who ensures fairness when things go wrong? Because things will go wrong. And why are we accepting a system where those who are supposed to ensure our safety and accountability can act without transparency and fairness? Look, this is not about Taye Arimoro. Everybody's talking about Taye Arimoro. This is not about Taye Arimoro. It's bigger than Taye Arimoro. It's about ensuring that everyone who walks within our space feels safe, feels respected, feels valued. We don't want an industry where people are scared or silenced to speak their truth. We don't want an industry where people are punished for following the law and reporting an assault case. We don't want a system where the guilds can unilaterally make decisions that contradict basic justice and evidence. To my people who work within the industry, my fellow cast, my fellow crew, I understand the fear of being blacklisted. I understand the fear of the repercussions. But listen to this. Last year someone died. Even though it's not the same circumstance, the basic point here is who protects us? Who ensures that we are safe? Who? Peggy's driver threatened to kill me. It's there in the live. No one is talking about that. They were not culpable. That's a threat to my life. So if Taye Arimoro had died, what would we be talking about right now? We cannot build an industry where we allow intimidation, bias, bruised egos, personal interests to set the standard for our industry. So here's what I am asking for. I need you to lend your voice. I need you to speak. This is not the time to sit on the fence. A lot of people have called me in the background, check on me, top actors, different grades and different levels of actors. Don't call me. Share your thoughts on it. You don't have to support me, but share your genuine thoughts on what went down, on the treatment, on how our industry can get better. We need to demand for fairness. We need to demand for accountability. We need to demand for a system that protects its people, not one that punishes them for standing for what is right. There's nothing much left to say here. Well, thank you so much for listening, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much for watching today's episode. Please like, and share. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.